Drama, optics and strategy. The no-confidence storm in the parliament had everything that a good political debate has. In a last-minute change, Congress pitched Gaurav Gogoi to lead opposition's charge against the government. The newly reinstated MP Rahul Gandhi did not speak today, as was being expected. But the Congress sources say Rahul will speak when the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is present in the House.
सवाल पहला कि आज तक वो मणिपुर क्यों नहीं गए कि लगभग 80 दिन क्यों लगे प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी को मणिपुर पे कुछ बोलने के लिए और जब बोले तो सिर्फ 30 सेकंड के लिए बोले और उसके पश्चात आज तक भी प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी की तरफ से ना कोई संवेदना का शब्द ना कोई शांति की याचना। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आज तक मणिपुर के मुख्यमंत्री को बर्खास्त क्यों नहीं किया? प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने G20 के बाली समिट में प्रेसिडेंट शी जिनपिंग के साथ क्या बातचीत की, उनके विदेश मंत्रालय ने इसको छुपाने की कोशिश की। लेकिन जब चीन के विदेश मंत्रालय से बात आई तो भारत सरकार के विदेश मंत्रालय ने खुद कबूल किया कि हाँ, हमने ये बात छुपाई थी कि बहुत संवेदनशील बातें प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी ने शी जिनपिंग के साथ बाली में किया। हम पूछना चाहते हैं कि क्या बातें की आपने?
I demand that just today after this, the Chief Minister must resign. How can you allow this? Sir, how this is? People dead, 179. People displaced, 60,000. Relief camps, 350. Still in camps, 40,000 people. Houses burnt, 3,662. Religious places burnt, 321. Companies by the companies of Central Force deployed, 161. And cases of rioting, murder, rape, 10,000, sir. 10,000 se zyada. Have we become so insensitive? This is the problem with this government.
So those were the opposition voices, but Union Minister Kiran Rijiju responded to the charges, saying that the Congress never bothered about the Northeast earlier.
आप लोग को पता है, आज जो मणिपुर के अंदर जो संघर्ष हो रहे हैं और वहाँ मैते कम्युनिटी और चीन कुकीज और मार कम्युनिटी का बीच में जो संघर्ष चल रहे हैं, वो ऐसा मत सोचिए कि आज उसका चिंगारी अचानक से उत्पन्न हुआ है, ऐसा मत सोचिए। बरसों से आपका नेग्लिजेंस, बरसों से जो आपने नॉर्थ ईस्ट को अपने पे मरने के लिए छोड़ दिया, हैंड होल्डिंग करने के लिए आप सोचा नहीं है, उसी का नतीजा है। 2014 के बाद मोदी जी इस देश का जब प्रधानमंत्री के कुर्सी पर बैठे, उसके बाद एक भी पूरे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में नया कोई मिलिटेंसी गुट खड़ा नहीं हुआ। आज पूरा का पूरा अरुणाचल असम के जो सीमावर्ती इलाका है, आर्म फोर्सेस स्पेशल पावर्स एक्ट पूरा हटा दिया गया है।
Remember, this is the second no-confidence motion that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is facing in his tenure. The first was back in 2018, which was defeated as the Bharatiya Janata Party enjoyed a comfortable majority then. Before getting into the political battle of all of this, let me quickly explain to you exactly what happens during a no-trust vote. A no-confidence motion against the government is generally moved by the opposition to express its lack of confidence in the government in power, and if such a motion is passed, the government has to resign. Once this motion is introduced, the no-confidence motion is introduced in the parliament, after signed by at least 50 MPs that support it, the speaker decides if it will be taken up. And then finally, once he or she decides that, he or she allocates a date, time and duration of the debate, and in this case it was today and it will happen tomorrow as well. Now, to this motion, the government has a right to reply, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi in this case is expected to reply on the 10th of August, which means more political fireworks are expected then. Finally, A vote is conducted after the debate is over, and if the government succeeds in getting the numbers, the majority, it wins. Otherwise, it has to resign. Now let's look at the numbers also. How are the numbers stacked up for the government? N.D.A. is at 332. The National Democratic Alliance, which is the government, is at 332. While I.N.D.I.A, the opposition alliance, is at 143. Clearly, the majority lies with the National Democratic Alliance, and it's going to be a smooth sailing for the Narendra Modi-led government. So why is the opposition still insisting on a no-trust vote? Let me take this to my guests tonight. I'm joined by Bansuri Swaraj, Secretary of Delhi BJP. I'm also joined by Sujata Paul from the Congress. Manish Barrier, political analyst, joins us, and Sanjay Hegre, senior advocate, also joins us tonight. Welcome to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on Mirror Now. Sujata Paul, first to you. When you see that the numbers are comfortably towards the N.D.A, towards the government is in a very comfortable position when it comes to the number game that the opposition is playing in the parliament through the no confidence motion. What was the need of this move?
Not happen because we want to bring the government down. We actually wanted to be with the government, stand with the government as the government stood with Manipur, but that hasn't happened. The Prime Minister has not bothered about Manipur. We know that it has been burning since 3rd of May. And might I add over here, you just showed a bite of Mr. Kiran Rijiju, and I had kind of missed it. He said that AFSPA has been removed from the entire Northeast. He couldn't be a bigger liar. Because in the month of February, March, it was N. Biren Singh who removed AFSPA from certain police stations. And if you go down into the history, you'll remember that the Manorama issue happened when the UPA government came into power, and this was what we inherited from the N.D.A government of Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. And in August 2004, Dr. Manmohan Singh promised that AFSPA would be withdrawn from various places gradually, and that is the process that was set into motion by us, and that is being continued. But if you look at what has happened to Manipur, the questions which are rising needs answers to. Like our MP Gaurav Gogoi, while moving the motion, said that there were 3 pertinent questions. The first one was, why did the Prime Minister not go to Manipur? They boast that he's been to the Northeast 51 times, but not once after it started burning. Every 15 days, there were 2 ministers who went to the Northeast. Not one is going. And the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, went there only when Manipur was up in flames at the end of May. 15 days, the Minister of State for Home Affairs spent over there. But other than that, no minister. The second question was that why did the Prime Minister not appeal for peace? I'll remind you of what happened when the Kokrajhar violent clashes broke out in 2012. And Dr. Manmohan Singh, he appealed for peace 2 weeks after that, and he addressed the Rajya Sabha in August of that year. But the Prime Minister is staying away. He is the Prime Minister of the country. And if he appeals for peace, there will be a great amount of difference, because no matter how much we stand with the people of Manipur, how much the ministers come out and speak, it will have to be the Prime Minister who will be taken for his word, because everything rests with him. But he's not coming out to do that. And the last and the third thing, why has Mr. N. Biren Singh not been removed? You've seen what they did for elections. And of course, like Satpal Malik ji said, जो पुलवामा करवा सकता है वो कुछ भी करवा सकता है इलेक्शन जीतने के लिए. If you remember, Uttarakhand got 3 chief ministers, Tripura 2, Karnataka 2, and Gujarat, the entire cabinet was removed along with the chief minister. So what is holding N. Biren Singh to the Prime Minister? Why is he holding him so close? These are questions that need to be answered, and we are not in any way trying to bring down the government. And the last point is that it is really strange that the Prime Minister was not in Parliament when this motion had to be moved. This is the same government which has been accused by the UKLF of having helped the BJP to win elections. What do we make out of it? There's too much of confusion, and everybody's smiles really tore our hearts apart.
Okay,
And I don't
okay.
feel very comfortable because you and I are women, and what has happened to women over there has made our sufferings increase. And I'm sorry to say that the women from the Bharatiya Janata Party are not standing with us. They're dividing women.
Bansuri Swaraj, would you like to respond to that? A lot of, serious charges, serious allegations that Sujata Paul has made against the Prime Minister as well as the government, including her last point of women's safety and how she's also saying that women from the Bharatiya Janata Party are not standing with them when it comes to issues that concern women.
Thank you, Shreya. This is absolutely false. First of all, the no confidence motion is being brought. It is an absolute sham. It was initially brought perhaps because the I.N.D.I.A alliance did not want the Delhi Services Bill to be passed. Now that that bill has already been passed, this is another cacophony of noise that they are creating. Since 2014, it has been the opposition's modus operandi to not let Parliament function. And it is so unfortunate that the I.N.D.I.A alliance is now using the Manipur issue for political mileage. It was so it was so sad to see that Mr. Gogoi was actually politicizing the Supreme Court, not realizing that it is not an adversarial litigation at all. In fact, Mr. Hegde will bear witness to the fact that it's not an adversarial litigation. All members of the bar and the bench are only working towards the well-being of Manipur. As far as the allegations are that the Prime Minister is not coming and speaking, they're absolutely false. You also know that as on 20th of July itself, the PM spoke first about Manipur, and he spoke with such tremendous sensitivity right outside the Parliament. The Prime Minister has already addressed the people of India. The thing is that the people of India have tremendous faith in the Prime Minister. It is the I.N.D.I.A alliance that does not have any faith in the Prime Minister. And I must say, the Modi government has time and again repeatedly said that we are willing to have a debate on Manipur. Honorable Home Minister Shri Amit Shah ji has said time and again that, look, we are willing to have a debate. But the opposition does not want to have a debate. They don't want a resolution. They only want to kick up a fuss. They only want to create a ruckus to gain political mileage, and that's all that there is. In fact, Shreya ji, you're absolutely right. The numbers do not stack up. So why are they even bringing this no confidence motion when they know that it is going to fail?
Can I answer that?
Sujata, yes, Sujata, respond to what Bansuri said. Also, the fact, and I've been asking this from day one, what is this insistence on the Prime Minister's remarks? He's already spoken ahead of the monsoon session outside the Parliament. He's appealed for peace. He's spoken on it. What else do you want the Prime Minister to do? He's already made a statement. Why this constant insistence and, logjam in the Parliament due to that? Just because you want the Prime Minister to be present there and make a point that we got him there and we got him to make a statement?
The Prime Minister is the leader of the Lok Sabha. What do you expect? He's the leader of this country. He's the prime leader, not just the Prime Minister. And when he goes to ask for votes, it is he who says that you vote on my name, on my face. And now when Manipur is burning, he refuses to look at Manipur. I want you to take a look at this news item. This is from the Telegraph, and I have seen this video. It is heart-rending. This is the video of a Naga woman who was shot at not once, not twice. Her head was shot at 20 times. In that video, you will see her face flattening with every bullet shot. The Prime Minister cannot see it. The Prime Minister cannot see Mr. Bungbajan Balte from the BJP. He's a BJP MLA who was paralyzed, who was in a hospital in Delhi for 2 months, and not one person from the BJP from the center went to see it. He cannot see that an ADGP, his name is Clay Kongsai, his house was burnt down. He cannot see that the relationship between the communities which stayed together for so many years in spite of the problems that they had are so broken now that there is no chance for the retrieval, for the revival, for the repair. Can he see that or no? Can he not see what happened to those two women in that video? And might I remind you that one of those women, her husband was a Kargil warrior. Her husband has fought for India. He was a part of the IPKF in Sri Lanka. He said that I could not save my village and my wife, though I fought for the country and saved my country. There's a freedom fighter whose wife has been
Okay.
attacked. What
All
kind
right.
of, this things are being spoken about?
All right,
If I remember
Sujata.
correctly, there was one minister who was talking about chakka laga diya. Is this a game of cricket for them? What kind of sensitivity did the Prime Minister exhibit? The Prime Minister spoke about Parivarvad and the BJP spokesperson, though I do not want to be personal, and I hope she doesn't take it personally, that BJP has the most number of Parivarvadis in them. What do they have to say about it? They are attacking the alliance, and that's all that they did
Okay,
today.
Sujata,
Today
you've
was a
made your
time for
point.
all
Let me
of us
also get in
to
my
come
other
together.
guests on the panel. Yes, okay. Manish Baryar, this seems to be a very clear number game. When it comes to numbers, it is very clear who's winning. But, it's also been seen as a perception battle ahead of the 2024 elections. The poll bugle has been sounded, and both sides now want to dominate the narrative that plays out till the 2024 elections.
Absolutely. That's the only reason why this entire no confidence motion has come. Absolutely. If you look at what has been happening for long years now, and particularly in this session also, I don't think opposition is, really serious about a meaningful discussion. Had it been like that, they would have not really, gone for those a facade of rules, Rule 267, 167, they could have easily discussed. And I'm really disappointed that that was an opportunity for the entire country to come together and discuss on a very serious issue. But instead of that, it is basically a name calling. With due respect to the spokesperson from Congress, if somebody starts going to the past, let's take up 30, 40, 50 years back, then you will find Congress a lot guilty, much more than what has happened right now. So I'm not into that name calling and blame game. But then the sensitivity is missing. One could have actually taken a better stand by saying, okay, let's discuss, find out a problem, and then solve this. Right? I think this would have been much better, and people of the country would have appreciated more than this a very non-serious exercise, because we are talking about strategy of Mr. Rahul Gandhi not coming first. You look at how it has become almost like a comedy, and it's a very, very serious and important thing. So, I don't see that kind of commitment from the opposition to really discuss and take this issue forward. It is about next year's election, but it could have been done in a much better way. You could have gone to the people, and I appreciate how Mr. Rahul Gandhi went to the people. I've heard that he's now moving from Gujarat to Meghalaya. I think you can take the issues to the country that enriches the politics of the country, rather than obstructing parliament, not being able to really make them function, and in that precious time and money gets lost. And I don't think this entire exercise is going to really help the opposition alliance, because we all understand that Prime Minister is an amazing speaker, and he has a lot of things to say, positive things to say, how he has steered the country. So, and an opposition for the last few years, they have been actually speaking the same language, same music. There's no freshness, there is no vision. And if that kind of a thing would have been there, then this entire exercise would have been fruitful. But I see a repeat of what has been happening in Parliament or outside. I don't see anything new out here.
Small intervention.
Okay, Sujata, I'll come to you, but first also let me get Sanjay Hegde into the discussion. Sanjay Hegde, this of course turns out to be a very obvious number game, and I keep referring to the number game because it's going to boil down to that eventually. But, in terms of discussions, in terms of concerns of the opposition parties, they're insisting on the Prime Minister's statement. Even if we consider the fact that, okay, the Prime Minister will come and make that statement, how does it help the situation? How does it solve the situation on ground, whether, it's the Manipur issue or the women's safety on ground? All of us have to work together eventually. Why this insistence of the PM coming to the House and speaking?
At the end of the day, we are a parliamentary democracy. Parliament is supreme. And it is the Prime Minister who speaks for the country in Parliament. You must remember, many instances. Where, for instance, way back when the Chinese invaded us in 1962, there was a no confidence motion. Prime Minister Nehru faced it. Whenever we have problems and the country needs to hear all sides of the debate, that's when motions of no confidence are moved, irrespective of the numbers. Democracy is not only about elections. It's not only about getting so many seats on that day after the election. It is what happens in between. Accountability is to Parliament. The leader is answerable to Parliament. And no matter what the numbers are, I remember way back in 1996, when it was sure that the Atal Bihari Vajpayee did not command a parliamentary majority, yet a 13-day government was formed, only to show the country that the BJP could form a government. And from there on, from those speeches where Basuri's mother played a very important role, that is where the BJP established itself. So please don't make no confidence motions just a mere counting of heads. It is an enunciation of hearts and minds of all sections of society, all sections of political opinion. The country comes together to watch it. And please do not just say X1, Y1, there is so much. Mr. Vajpayee was a classic case of having lost the motion of no confidence, yet coming back later to rule the country for 6 years. So today we are in a situation where a very important border state nearing Burma has been on fire for quite some time. We thought we had a nationalist government which put the nation first. And what happens in Manipur, what happens in Assam, equally affects the mainland. Please, there are different and very disturbing messages which a lot of people are taking from what is happening there. So every shade of opinion needs to be held. Every shade of opinion has to be heard with utmost respect and greatest attention. That is the only way that the nation proceeds further. It cannot be, I said so, and you have my word.
Absolutely. And, those shades we have seen throughout the day today. And, not just as a journalist, as a citizen of this country, it's been extremely interesting to watch the parliamentary proceedings since morning. We've had a very healthy discussion and debate, and all the drama that you expect from the parliamentary debate, all that has been given to us, as citizens and as, of course, journalists. But Basuri, to you, like Sanjay Hegde said, Sujata has been voicing her concerns, and the opposition parties have been talking about the Manipur issue. Congress leader Manish Tiwari spoke about the border situation with China. All of these have been concerns of the opposition parties. How does the government really plan to deal with this, with the situation on ground? I know that the government has been saying that they're ready for debate and discussion, but what beyond that?
The government is actually dealing with it with utmost sensitivity and maturity. And this is something that the Honorable Attorney General for India has already submitted before the Supreme Court. I would like to just respond to what Mr. Hegde and Sujata ji have said on your channel. You're absolutely right. It's a parliamentary democracy where there is also a principle of collective responsibility. When the Honorable HM is willing to have a debate, he is speaking on behalf of the Modi government. It is the Ghamandiya alliance and the opposition that is scuttling away from having that debate. As I said, the no confidence motion is nothing but a sham. They basically already know that they don't have the numbers. Now, regarding Sujata ji, देखिए आपकी मजबूरी मैं समझ सकती हूँ. आपने मुझे पर्सनली अटैक इसलिए करा है क्योंकि जब बातों में तर्क नहीं होता और तथ्य नहीं होते तो व्यक्तिगत जो है अटैक करना शुरू करता है. पर आपकी मजबूरी मैं समझ सकती हूँ. Having said that, coming back to the no confidence motion, please let me tell you that the government is very serious about it. In fact, please see the affidavits and the status reports that have been submitted before the Honorable Supreme Court. All sexual offences related matters have already been given to the CBI for investigation. The Prime Minister of India is responsible to the people of India. He has already come and spoken to the people of India without any no confidence motion, without anybody asking. On the 20th of July, before the parliament session began, he actually came and he said that he is going to do everything in his power to resolve the issue in Manipur. The fact is that you are actually the opposition is bringing the no confidence motion only and only for political mileage. And that is extremely saddening.
Sujata, you want to respond to what Bansuri said? Please make your point. Go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Sujata. Please go ahead.
Yes. I want to show you a picture, and I'm not going to respond to what Bansuri Swaraj has just said, because what I had to say, I have already said, and she is a symbol of Parivarvad. So let's not make any bones about that. I have not seen her struggling on the streets to get into the party.
I don't think that the Congress party it does not line their mouths to actually talk about Parivarvad or lecture anybody on Parivarvad.
I will not speak like this, Shreya. This is my turn. I think she should keep quiet. I didn't speak a word when she was speaking. I can understand how rattled you are. And look at this picture. I want to show you this picture, and why I'm showing you this picture, there is a reason. These are the parliamentarians who had come from the European Union, and they were sent to Jammu and Kashmir after Article 370 was abrogated. That's how the Prime Minister wanted it. And he had stopped our parliamentarians from visiting Kashmir. But when it comes to our own parliament, our Prime Minister refuses to speak within the parliament. And the other panelists had mentioned about the Congress party and the India alliance not wanting a discussion. Might I remind you, maybe you haven't gone through these details in the last few days, 4 days back, the Speaker of Rajya Sabha had requested the India alliance to come up with a middle path. And what happened was that they met Mr. Piyush Goyal, and they told him that they were willing to have a discussion, even if it meant not under Rule 267 or Rule 176. They were willing to have a discussion under Rule 167. 4 days have passed. There has been no response from them. Why is that so? This means that the government does not want to have any discussion in the Rajya Sabha. Now, you will have to answer that if you are speaking for the BJP. But when you talk about the kind of positivity that the Prime Minister exhibits, what kind of positivity is, may I ask you? I am a woman, and I want to know why is it that Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh was protected by this government? Why has he not been removed? Why has Biren Singh not been removed? These are the two Bs of the Prime Minister, and these Bs are buzzing like nobody else's business, because these Bs are humming to the Prime Minister that you let us stay, because we will polarize, we will divide, and we will get you votes. Is that what you're fighting for? Only votes and not for the state of Manipur? When you talk about the state of Manipur, please remember the Northeast has a porous border. And in 2012, the incident that I mentioned earlier was a dispute between the Kukizo and the Naga community. This time it is Naga and the Metis, and this has filtered down into Mizoram. So what are we doing to our Northeast is a serious concern. And this is why there should have been a serious discussion on that at the earliest when the monsoon session started. But what are we doing? We are having this discussion towards the end. And I saw what Ms. Swaraj was talking about. Abuse as much as you can abuse, like your MP with the Farji degree from the Lok Sabha. He abused Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi ji, and he came prepared to attack him because he didn't speak a word on Manipur. And this shows that you are not prepared to talk on Manipur. Your troll ministers are there to abuse, and you are doing the same thing. Keep talking about Ghamandia, but stop talking about India in this tone, because it is the people of India who are questioning you. The parliament belongs to the opposition because the government belongs to the party in power, and that is what Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar said. I don't think you understand that. You spoke about numbers, but that numbers don't really matter when it comes to any part of the country, and all of us need to stand together. But the Prime Minister wants to divide even the politicians, even the parliamentarians, because he does not want anybody to come and stand with him on any issue because he thinks he knows it all. He will be remembered as a dictator and not a statesman. Please remember that. If he cannot get his own parliamentarians on board,
if
we have to
Manipur
look
was
for
such a
outside
huge
support.
concern, yeah.
Yes.
Sujata, if Manipur was such a huge concern, we wouldn't have had only Gaurav Gogoi speaking on the Manipur issue. You had, a lot of concern about Manipur, but it's only after the video of, that unfortunate video that came out, that emerged, where the women were paraded naked. Then it was a huge issue for the opposition as well. I'd like to take this point across to Manish as well. Manish, how do you see this?
No, Shreya, can I please give me 10 seconds. You're absolutely wrong. Go through our timelines.
Okay,
Since
quick
the
10 seconds, Sujata, respond and go to other. Yeah.
Yes, all our timelines are filled with our tweets, our everything that we could do, videos on Manipur. I myself must have made about 25, 30 videos.
Sujata, look,
so please don't say that.
Sujata, tweets don't solve the on-ground situation.
Yes, we went there.
Tweets and Instagram stories don't solve on-ground situation. Okay, let me put this across to Manish as well. Manish, okay, Manish, how do you see this, the government responding to the Manipur violence, the Manipur incident, after months of the kind of destruction and unfortunate incidents that we have seen, and the opposition, of course, taking it up as a huge concern in the parliament, and we've seen the parliamentary proceedings being disrupted because of it, and now, of course, we have this no confidence motion as well.
See, there's no doubt that lapses have been there on the part of the state government for sure. And I think the government has acknowledged this also. Many of the leaders have said that, yes, initially, the speed with which the state government should have acted, I think they floundered on that. And which is why you will feel, that this situation has snowballed into that. There's no doubt over it. Otherwise, things would have been much better. But having said that, you also have a situation where the Honorable Home Minister went there and he tried to really, put focus on improving law and order. I think my problem is that, instead of solving the issue is being raked up. I see this more from the point of view of, taking some political mileage out of that. And this was the time for more of solidarity. This was the time for the entire country and the opposition and all political parties to come together. While, one should have a healthy discussion, but there's no doubt that, opposition is trying to take a political mileage out of it. Had the concern been there, then, that concern should have actually shown through. But I don't see that happening. In the last program also I talked about, before this delegation came, so it was 70, 80 days. What was the opposition doing? What about, opposition party leaders locally in Manipur? How many of them have come forward and really tried to really improve the situation out there? I did not see that happening. So, I see this is as a very unfortunate, as most of the countrymen see this. And we just hope that this situation comes under control. And as a lot of people have talked about, I don't want to go into the history. So Manipur has a very unfortunate history of two of these, groups fighting with each other. So this is not something which has happened for the first time. It has happened earlier also. And situation has been, in some of the situations have been as bad or maybe worse than what it has. So, but then I don't want to really go back and say, okay, just because it happened at that time, it should happen now also.
Okay.
But then, situation is unfortunate and has to be allowed to heal instead of really, because the politics behind it is ensuring that, it's not actually cooling off. And
Can
as
I
you
come
know
in?
that a lot of times in these kind of situation, vested interest comes,
Okay,
and then
okay, so-
they don't allow
Can I
things.
come in?
Okay, Sujata wants to
I'm
respond to
sorry.
you,
Yes,
Manish.
you know, Mr.
All
Manish
right,
is
Sujata,
talking
go
about,
ahead.
yes, Mr. Manish is talking about two groups fighting. And why did the opposition not come out in Manipur? Are you kidding me? I mean, the opposition is also a part of the Metis or the Nagas or the Kukis. Or do you understand the scenario over there? Two groups have been fighting, and I told you earlier in 2012 it was the Nagas and the Kukizo where the problems were happening. This time it is something else. Kukizo and Metis are fighting, and the relationship is completely broken down. You talk about solidarity. That is
My
exactly what I
question
was. Let
was
me
that
complete. I
at
was
that
saying
time,
this
ma'am,
exactly, that it is necessary for the country to come together. The country has not come together on it because the Prime Minister doesn't want anybody to come together on it. Government has not acknowledged anything, because if they had wanted to, they could have brought this to a stop initially. 3 months have passed and you're saying the government is still trying to do something. And I would like to add, Shreya, that what I was saying was not just videos, writings, press conferences, everything was done by the Congress party. This is the only way we could have done it, because if we had gone there at that stage, you all would also have said that we are trying to disturb them. We don't want to disturb anybody. We want the government to function. We are not out to destabilize governments like the BJP does, like it has done all over the country. So the fact is that this government did not want to bring the situation under control, and that is why this situation is not under control today. And even now, the Prime Minister is allowing it to happen because he wants it to continue.
I think, Shreya, can I come in?
Okay, okay, Manish wants to respond. Manish, quickly. Yeah, make your point quickly, Manish.
I would say that, Sujata ma'am has been pretty harsh and unfair. I would like to ask her, last time when the situation actually came into like this, did the chief minister resign? Twice it happened. Did he resign? Did Congress make him resign? That is my first question. Did he resign? No, he didn't resign.
Good question.
So why
Hang
this
on, good question.
insistence of resigning? Because
no. Listen.
right now the situation is so bad.
Good question.
Leader
Good
is
question.
there. He understands the situation.
No,
Resigning would have
nobody
not done the
understands.
job. Maybe the chief minister can resign later on once the situation comes under control, because
Hang
it is
on.
not a normal situation. It's a very,
So
very
let me-
extraordinary situation.
I'm answering. In 2004, Dr. Manmohan Singh had made a 3-day visit to Manipur and Assam, and he made it
Did the chief
continuously
minister
throughout his
resign?
tenure. But hang on.
Did the chief minister resign?
Listen, will you please let me answer? I'm
No,
telling you the
Okay,
difference.
okay,
answer my
both of you
question.
one
Did
at
he
a time.
resign?
The
Sujata,
chief
Because
quickly
he
minister
was
did not
respond
have
and
to
then
insisting on his
Manish.
resign
resignation.
because
He didn't
because
resign.
he went to Assam. Because he
No,
went to
just because he
Manipur.
went. So
He
Home
went to
Minister
Assam,
went to-
and
Home
there
Minister
was
also went.
discussion in Parliament, and the situation was brought under control
I'm just,
within a month. And let
I
me
find
also tell you that
Congress
on
party
December
has
3,
been very rigid.
2011,
Ma'am?
listen, Dr. Manmohan Singh, he issued a statement from Manipur, from Imphal, on December 3, 2011, when an economic blockade by the United Naga Council had brought everything to a halt for 3 months, and it was controlled.
And
It was
before Manmohan
controlled.
Singh,
Nothing
ma'am,
is happening like this. The
before
Prime Minister is no
Manmohan
longer.
Singh,
All right,
The
okay.
Prime Minister
Okay,
is not
Sujata, you've made your
accountable to
point
the
now.
Parliament also.
All right. Sujata, we've heard you. You've made your point. Manish, quickly make your point, and then I'm going to take last comments from all my panelists.
I think two quick points. One, this rigidity and insistence on only when Prime Minister will make a statement inside the Parliament will we allow it to function. I think that was very, very rigid and highly unfair. Because of that, we have lost this entire session of Parliament. While I do welcome, debates, it may have happened within the framework of the normal parliamentary discussion. So that is one. And second, this insistence on, instead of finding a solution, insistence on chief minister resigning, where I do not see any Congress chief minister resigning in similar situation. I think it is highly unfair. I think the entire the discussion is happening not on the right issues. It should have been issue-based in this extraordinary situation rather than focusing on the political parties.
Okay. All right. Sanjay Hegde, to you, your last comments. How do you see this really panning out now?
You want comments, or you just let everybody else have a say? No, I don't think I can contribute anything.
Well,
I'm sorry.
No, but then it's between the BJP and Congress. If they let anybody else speak, I would have come to you.
I'm sorry, I don't have any comment to make.
All right, then I'm going to go across to Bansuri. Bansuri, your last comments, and I'm going to wrap this discussion up.
My last comments are that it has been extremely immature of the opposition to not accept having a debate on the Manipur issue. And now they're bringing a no confidence motion, which is nothing but a ploy for gaining political mileage before the elections in 2024. They know that the no confidence motion is going to fail miserably.
All right, on that note, I'm going to wrap this discussion up. Bansuri Swaraj, Sanjay Hegde, Sujata Paul and Manish Baria, thank you very much for joining us tonight and sharing your perspective on the day one of the no confidence motion that we saw. Of course, that debate continues tomorrow as well. On Mirror Now,